Okay, I'm back home, sunny Orange County, and we've got the truck out today. Now, I do know that I kind of abruptly ended that last video after the install. It was late, we needed to get on the road, so I did miss a couple things that I wanted to point out, and then obviously people have kind of had some questions on, so I wanted to make a shorter video and just do a quick walk around on this truck to let you guys know a little bit of those details that my last video was missing. So again, McGaughys 4-inch kit. We're running at exactly 4 inches from center hub to fender. This truck is sitting at 28 inches, and people are asking, well, hey, what happens to that factory AT4X ZR2 Multimatic 2-inch factory lift kit? Well, as I've stated before in some of my videos, is that all that is a factory GM leveling kit. Again, don't stone me because I have my opinion on how I refer to it. I've had guys say that they are full lift kits. Well, in the aftermarket lift world, if you don't have a lower cross member that drops down, that cross member right there, if there is no cross member, the lower control members are still in the factory position, but all you're doing is basically preloading the suspension to go down and raise the truck up, that's called a leveling kit. That's what a leveling kit consists of in the aftermarket world. So that's why I call it a factory GM leveling kit. So yes, that leveling kit gets basically it gets overruled. I mean, it goes, the torsion bars are readjusted, so you don't have the same amount of adjustment on the torsion bars, and we start over again and basically set the truck up at a true 4 inches. So even though that this is an AT4X Multimatic truck, shock truck, it's an AEV truck, this is exactly what you're going to be looking at if you have a regular AT4, a regular 2500 Denali Ultimate, any of the other model trucks. You're still going to be sitting the exact same. There's no difference. It's just been the AT4X 2-inch factory leveling kit has been, basically canceled out now. Okay, so that's one of the questions that I did have. And then the other was, how did I like this kit with the Multimatic shocks? So when I first bought the truck and we drove it home, mind you, we drove it home from Texas back to California. So my wife and I had a good, 1,000-mile ride home, a little bit lower than that, but we've got, the truck had 1,200 miles, 1,300 miles on it when we took it apart at McGaughys and did the lift kit. And at that point, with that many miles, we really didn't like the ride quality of that AT4X Multimatic 2-inch leveling kit. It was stiff, it was real abrupt, real sharp, and to me, I just didn't really feel like the shocks were activating correctly. The truck was bone stock. That's my personal feeling. I've had some other people on Facebook and some of the other places that I communicate with people on with these trucks. They've kind of explained a little bit the same, but then you have other guys that are like, no, they ride real great. So again, it's to each his own, a little bit different, but my verbiage is that it was very abrupt and harsh when we hit stuff. Now, granted, we've gone up to 38-inch tall tires from the factory 35s. That helped out with the sidewall. My truck, also too, I want to take out of the equation is that my truck was running those factory AT4X AEV tires at 50 PSI. Now I rode home at 50 PSI. So tire pressure was still the same. I could lower the tire pressure and get a better ride quality, but comparison, apple to apple, 50 PSI to 50 PSI, Multimatic shocks with this 4-inch kit, this truck rides so much better. We left McGaughys and right away on the main road leaving the shop, there was 3 railroad track sections that are very heavy, very rough, and we went over them, and my wife looked at me and she's like, seriously? And I'm like, really? I knew, because I've drove a lot of these trucks with the 4-inch kit on it, and I've drove some Multimatic AT4X trucks with the Multimatic shocks on the 4-inch kit too. So I kind of already knew where I was going with it. But to her, it was a very big shock, and she was happy. She was stoked. She was really happy with it. She's actually been driving the truck around town because she loves it herself. But furthermore, it rides way better. If you're local in Orange County area, hit me up. I'm more than happy to kind of show you firsthand if you're skeptical about it. I know it sounds crazy, but for real, it is the difference in ride quality. And so the other thing is, I had people ask, like, seriously? You put a whole lift kit on your truck just to gain 2 inches? Well, you got to understand, it's not just the 2 inches that I gained with installing this. Okay, let's break this down. The factory AT4X ZR2 2-inch leveled truck, whether it's a factory truck or you have your HD already leveled, all you've done is add a preload to the suspension and taken the suspension stroke and run it down closer to the full droop travel. So your truck, when it goes over any obstacles, will quickly run out of suspension travel quicker than a factory height truck because you've reduced the droop travel. So in the aftermarket leveling world, leveling kits are you know, setup wise are stated to say go up as tall as you want, as long as you maintain 2 inches of droop travel by measuring center hub to fender or top of the tire to the fender from static ride height. Like right now, you measure that distance and then you jack up the truck and let the suspension droop out. You should have no less than 2 inches of droop travel. Well, this factory AT4X, in my previous video test fitting the 37s, you clearly could see that the truck only, I mean, I showed it, you only get 2 inches of droop travel. So it was already running at maximum droop travel allowance, and that was already deteriorating the ride quality, okay? Let alone, because you have the suspension cranked up, you get worse front control arm, tie rod, and ball joint angles. And now look at this. This truck is all flat. A direct push and pull tie rod, okay? That tie rod right there is a direct horizontal push and pull. So it is now functioning just like a factory HD truck with no lift kit on it, to where it's the strongest point of ratio of a direct push and pull horizontal. When you crank it up, it gets at a harsh angle like this. So now it's going back and forth like this, and then you're putting a lot more twist on the center link, which rolls the center link back and forth, puts more wear and tear on the tie rod, or excuse me, on the idler and pitman arm. And then obviously you got a lot more, you know, leverage point at an angle on that ball and socket of the outer tie rod. So I fixed that because it's got a true 4-inch kit. CV shafts, nice and flat. Again, less rolling resistance, less wear and tear on the CV shafts. And because now it's more of a horizontal plane, nice and flat, I have a tremendous amount of droop travel ratio from this static height. Now, I'm not saying I gain suspension travel, it's a long travel, mid travel, none of that, no. We still have, it's like 6.5 inches of travel overall, okay? But now the ratio is 3.5 inches, you know, 3.5 inches up, 3 inches down, rather than a leveling kit would be 2 inches down, 4 inches up. Well, that downward stroke is where you get a lot of abrupt, where it basically runs out of stroke real fast and abrupt. And guys say, oh, put a better shock, money's no object, I want 2.5s, I want this, I want that. No matter how much money you spend on a shock, hear me out. If the suspension has a limited amount of movement, a shock is only gonna give you that much more benefit. So I'm still running the Multimatic shocks. As you can see right there, yes, it has a spacer. I don't care. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. This isn't no off-road, you know, crazy truck or anything like that. But I want a daily drive. I want to be able to go off camping, go to my favorite camping spots off-road, tow a trailer, and I just don't want the truck to ride like crap. And I don't care if you go off-road or you drive on the streets. A lot of these highways that we have around California, out of state, wherever you go, get rough. A pothole at 60, 70, 80 miles per hour is harsh when you have no droop travel. The suspension cannot move through its stroke correctly. So 2 inches, yes, I gained 2 inches over what I had, but I gained so much value in where my suspension stroke pattern is now. If you understand where I'm going with it, that was my value. I'm not trying to sell you on you get more height. And again, the value of the suspension travel was where the money was at for me. And here's those angles right there. You can see the bolt position from the factory now with the new McGaughys lower cross member. That's exactly 4 inches down. It is exactly up and down straight. There's no track width gain on this front suspension, so the tire is not pushed out by the suspension, unlike some of the others on the market. This is why I also, you know, picked this one. Let's talk about tire clearance. So These AEV trucks do have this front bumper. A Bison AEV GMC has this front bumper, which does not hang down as much. So that's a positive thing. But the thing that I learned doing all these tests is that this shield that's on the inside here, which is removed currently right now, that shield that's missing right here, that connects from the bumper and back and encapsulates this whole, it like basically closes it all off. That shield, basically the tire rubbed right about that area right there when it was fully cranked all the way to the right, and then obviously the same thing on the other side all the way to the left. Now I did have enough room over on this side because these trucks come with a mud flap delete already from factory, and you know, they're just a lot higher up, so then you have more room back there. So like I said, I do have the splash shield off. I had to remove that because it was too close. So it goes without saying, this was not a direct bolt-on scenario. I am now got an appointment to go to another shop down here in Orange County that's going to take care of me and help me install the AEV 37-inch tire clearance kit, which they make, and it comes with a different formed splash shield up front, and it comes with their version of the lower mud flap fender area, and then a pullback setup that basically adds more clearance in this area as well. This wasn't so much of a casualty, but since I'm already buying the kit for the front section, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rear section put on. You know, off-road, articulated scenarios. Again, I'm not Baja crazy going with this truck off-road, but if this thing gets articulated any way, whether it's on-road or off-road or whatever the case is, I want plenty of room. I've got a brand new truck. I don't know, some guys are trying to be funny online or not. They're like, just run it and let it rub and it'll clearance itself. I get it, but I'm not that guy. I'm gonna clearance it correctly. I'm gonna make it fit correctly. I don't want to be pulling up anywhere to any event, you know, friend's house or whatever, and trying to parallel park the truck and have the tire ripping off the inner fender plastic. That's not me. I'm not going to do it. I'll spend the extra money and I'll get it done. So if you can value that, that's my, you know, that is my suggestion. That's what I'm doing with this truck. Look at the side profile there. These tires look really good underneath this truck. So I'll remind you again what I did. These are 38 1350s. They're on the factory AEV GM version Salta wheels. These are not the ones that are off AEV's website. These are a positive 32, which equal a 6.28 backspace. And what I did, because it has too much backspace for this lift kit, it would interrupt the tie rod and then obviously possibly rub on the inside tire towards the frame and sway bar, just like, you know, some of the other guys are facing with some of these higher offset wheels. I had Bora wheel spacers off Bora Off-Road. They cut me a 0.50 inch spacer, which basically once that's installed underneath this wheel, it pushes the wheel out and it replicates what a 18x9 positive 18 5.7 backspace wheel is. So if you want to replicate this, just like my truck, you're just going to find yourself an 18x9 wheel that is 5.7 backspace, which equals plus positive 18. You just find yourself that wheel and you'll sit just like this one right here. You can do 37s, you can do 38s, your flavor, whatever you want to do. If you guys got any questions, let me know. I'm going to keep on documenting this truck. And oh yeah, the truck sits 4 inches up front, 1 3/4 rear block, no shims. And I know it's probably not level, the phone isn't probably level right now, but measuring from the bottom pinch weld of the body front to back, I've got about a 5/8 raise higher in the rear than the front. It doesn't look like it because these trucks have a higher hood line up front compared to the bed line. But if you want it a little bit higher, you could always put the shims in the back or go with the taller block, whatever suits your flavor. Again, it's all personalized. Hope you guys like this video. Again, trying to keep it short, but a lot of information. And yeah, this thing is freaking awesome. I got more stuff to be added onto this truck. We'll do a video with the tire clearance kit. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for the support.